Okay. Well, right back at you, family. This is once again your soul brother Talib. And before I was interrupted, unfortunately, I would like to go on ahead and restart this video over quick because it's not gonna be too long anyway. But it's gonna be dealing with the subject of black people being their own worst enemies. And but anyway, I was basically talking about how, during these protests and marches and stuff and rioting and looting, how black people are, overlooking the fact that we do much more evil now these days and wickedness toward each other than the racists do, whether we want to realize it or not. And I mean, our elderly people can't even feel safe, to come out their house, to even sit on their porch, let alone to walk to their store without worrying about being robbed or victimized by a younger person in our community, some kind of way. I'm talking about people that lived almost a century or over a century, that saw some things. You know what I'm saying? That might have even been a part of the civil rights movement, but y'all disregard that kind of stuff. It's seen worse of what it is to be black in America, far as history is concerned. But you disregard all that. You don't have no regard or no kind of compassion or care or concern for the elder. Like I said in another video, we don't, as black people in America, we don't even protect our elderly, let alone the fact we don't even protect our women and children. And then you wonder why we don't have no respect as a group of people in this country, you know. But like I said before, we are definitely, out here, just killing each other over trivial reasons, you know, over gang colors, gang signs, running out here selling each other that drug poison, you know, and victimizing each other over these drugs and all this other kind of stuff, and everything, and, you know, killing each other over other, frivolous reasons, and all this other crazy stuff. We can't even walk down the street and feel safe among each other without worrying about if we gonna be harmed by someone that look like us, whether they know us or not. You know what I'm saying? That type of situation. You know? I mean, live in fear just because you're around other black people. That's a reality in America. You know? Just like I was also talking about before I was interrupted, unfortunately, that I what I see with these relationships as far as black men and women being concerned in this country, it is very detrimental and damaging to the point, which is reason why, even with me approaching 52 very soon, is why I have not married and why I don't have any children. You know what I'm saying? And that's, as someone would say, like in religion, a blessing in disguise. Because when I was younger, I kind of wanted a family and children, and then for the children to grow so I could see myself having grandchildren. But you know what? That's not an option here in America. If I am able to move to another country before I close my eyes for the last time, then that may be a possibility. But here in America, that's not a possibility. Because I don't want to have to bear the brunt of responsibility of helping to bring a black child in this world, in a country like this, to where they got to face being the N-word, face being a slave, face Jim Crow, mass incarceration, gerrymandering, and racial profiling, police brutality, and, and housing and job discrimination and everything else that consequently come along with being black in America. I don't want to have to bear the brunt of that reality or responsibility. So I'm more happy now than ever to know that I don't have no children that are my own offsprings, you know. And even though I do have a niece and grandnephews that are very young, you know, I do worry about them. Plus, their mother and grandmother is not here. You know, may she rest in peace. You know, but I must say that you know, they are in a tight situation. You know, they caught up between two hard brick walls, and especially with their generation, which is considered as the new millennials. I mean, they may just end up seeing worse, and hopefully by the time I'm more than likely will be dead, whenever that may happen, because black people don't have no future here in America. You know, under this racist system that was created to, you know, enslave us and oppress us through Jim Crow and mass incarceration and all that stuff anyway, you know. So, like I said before, we have very much to understand that we are definitely, in fact, like Marcus Garvey said almost 100 years ago, our own worst enemies. You know, like you have soul sisters out here, you know, who doing treachery stuff as mothers, you know, and to their spouse, even telling their own spouse that they, you know, is not gonna have a baby and that they are going to abort their baby, and in a lot of cases don't end up aborting the baby but collecting the check off them. You see what I'm saying? Without the father even knowing he got kids that exist in this world. You know, that type of stuff always happens in the black community, as y'all say. You know, and a lot of people don't address that. That's not a big issue on the table talked about even, let alone trying to do something about it. You know, because we always want to look at the man. I mean, man, we are beat down enough as it is. Just being a black male in this racist society. Then we have to be, you know, demoralized and verbally dehumanized and desensitized, you know. And what other word I could use for it? You know what I'm saying? Despised by our own so-called black women in this country as being deadbeat dads. And yes, I agree, it is some deadbeat dads. But there are also some dads that's not trying to be deadbeat dads. And that's even raising children on their own without the mother, you know, in the equation. You see what I'm saying? But y'all don't want to even talk about that or embrace that as much as y'all embrace the negative aspects of a brother, you know? And this is why, like someone said in the video I saw yesterday, black man, in fact, it may be time to leave, pack your stuff up and leave America. Get the packing and leave America. You know, where you can go to a country where you will be more treated as a human and more appreciated for who you are. You know? I mean, because, hey, like I said, and as far as on the level of black people ever trying to unite, you know, especially to make an entire difference for us all as a people in this country, I see that being a very slimmer chance than ever right now at this point. And I've been in the activism or around activists for about quite some over 30 some years, and I tell you, that's one of the reasons why I left the so-called pro-black conscious community alone anyway, because I mean, they ain't doing nothing. They not addressing even the stuff that I'm bringing up in this video, as I bring up in other videos concerning us, and our plight as a people, as far as how we deal with each other, how we act toward one another, while we out here trying to get other people to treat us different, amid all these police killings of black men and women in America, but we don't even have the outside the box mentality. I'm not saying in all cases, but most of us don't even have the think outside the box mentality to say, hold up, how is we gonna get other people to treat us different and we can't even treat ourselves with respect, love, unity, care, and compassion? We don't give a damn. A lot of us don't even give a damn about our children. We bring them in this world. Half of the time, and those fathers as well as some mothers do kick our children to the curb. Just like they ain't nothing but a piece of sperm and that's it. And that's just foul. And then you wonder why your children grow up and don't respect you and grow up to hate you and all this other kind of stuff. But of course, a lot of you, have that mentality. Y'all are always right and no one else is. Everybody else wrong and y'all right type mentality. And see, that type of monotony there is one of the things that's going to continue to keep black people in this country disunited. Is that type of way of thinking. And then on top of that, like I said, I've seen sisters who've messed over brothers who did try to do right by them. Brothers I personally knew in my life that tried to do the best thing they could as being husbands, boyfriends, or fathers. And sisters just messed over them and took them through all kind of drama and hell, And I looked at that and I said, you know what? That definitely ain't got to be me. And so far, it ain't been me. Yes, I done dwelled in and out of, interactions with women, of course. Because, a man is going to be a man. But however, I must say this, though. As far as a relationship is concerned, I'm not with it. The more and the more I see how the so-called black man and woman relationship is in America, I can't even blame them brothers like O'Shea Jackson and them that move overseas or that go to places like Brazil. Other brothers he even talked to that go to places like Brazil, the Philippines, and other parts of the world just to look for companionship. Because unfortunately, the reality is that the black, and I'm not saying this because I'm putting down the black woman. The reality is that the black woman in America is just treacherous, just like the black man is, which I'm gonna admit, both sides bear responsibility and treachery, and why so many children are motherless and fatherless, okay? So, that could be looked at in both ways. But all I'm saying is this, is that I'm just illustrating how we are, our own worst enemies, whether we want to realize it or not. Okay? And this is the reason why in this coronavirus pandemic, and like I said, all this unrest as far as racial inequality and all that good stuff here in America is going, I must say that black people need to take a look at themselves. We need to take a look at ourselves as a community and as a group of people. We really need to take a look at ourselves and what we're doing to each other. And of course, I mean, like I've always said too, getting the state behind us as far as taking control of a state like Mississippi to where we can create a safe, healthy, environment for ourselves as a people to where we could work on changing these issues among us, in a more better way. I must also say that that's gonna still take a lot of work, even with getting the Mississippi campaign off the ground. That's gonna take a lot of work because we are so desensitized against each other to the point that we may, every time a black person talk about trying to bring unity among us, who's the first to go against it? Other black people. I'm not saying that exactly of course, well, just like the Caucasian, the black man and woman in some cases is just as quick to go against it. And that's a fact. Look at people like Candace Owens. I mean, I'm just saying, we are our own worst enemies, whether we realize it or not. That's all I'm just saying, And the fact of the matter is that we need to wake up and understand and realize that no one is going to respect us until we learn how to protect our women, our children, and our elderly. No one is going to respect us. Even Elijah Muhammad once, in so many words, said that, himself. And that's true. And this is why we find ourselves in the position that we are in. Like I said, this coronavirus pandemic going on, these protests going on, but yet we still killing each other, still selling each other drug poison, still gang banging over so-called neighborhood territory and all this other crap, still killing each other over gang colors and gang signs and all this other stuff. Our black youth can't even go to school, in peace and feel safe going to school and coming home from school. You have, in cities like Detroit, Chicago, LA, and other parts of the country, gang zones got to be created in certain areas why children could be able to hopefully get to school safely. Because even in the gang zones, like in Chicago, it's unfortunate that children still get shot or caught up in the middle of shootouts between different rival gangs or whatever. While they trying to make it home from school or to school safely, And I mean, this is just the reality of Black America today. And I know a lot of you don't want to hear the truth for what it is, but hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And personally, I don't I don't care if you don't subscribe to my channel or not. Cause I'ma just keep it real. Like someone say from the same platform I speak from, we keeps it real here. That's why we call the Reality Temple Ministries, aka Operation Exodus Mississippi. But Reality Temple Ministries, yes, we keep it real with truth and alike reality itself. So like I said before, I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. I'ma just give it to you like it is. That's why I can't belong to no organization. Because at this point in time, I would be speaking my mind. And even when I was in the so-called pro-black conscious community, when I saw stuff I didn't agree with, I spoke my mind, whether people liked it or not, you know? And I've always been like that. Maybe that's why I didn't last in no organization too long. But hey, I'm fine with that because the organizations don't do nothing anyway for us. It ain't kept us from being the N-word. It ain't kept us from getting our head blew off by these racist peckerwoods, especially with the racist police, like the ones that killed George Floyd, you know, and that just killed this brother in Atlanta, Rayshard Brooks, you know. I mean, so like I said before, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you know, I could care less what them organizations think or say. Or even if some of them who are members of them organizations in the pro-black conscious community may be watching my videos. I could care what they think, less care what they think or say. And that's the bottom line. They ain't paying my bills. They ain't keeping no roof over my head. You know what I'm saying? And they sure ain't seeing to my well-being in no kind of way. And even if they knew where I was, they wouldn't care. That's just the mentality of how Negroes is, period. Whether you call yourself pro-black or not. Or Pan-African, Kemetic, Hebrew Israelite, Nubian, Nation Islam, Moorish Science Temple of America, you know, the new Black Panther Party, all that crap, you know. You know, we got all these so-called black organizations, especially that's supposed to be about separation from the racist oppressor. And I have yet to see any of them organizations execute any kind of move in attempt to separate us as a people from our over 400-year-old racist oppressors. This is reason why they are not taken seriously. Not even by the racists. They're not taken seriously. And I sure don't take them seriously. You know? Because I was once a part of that pro-black conscious crap. So I know what it's all about, you know? But like I said before, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, we need to wake up, black people, and realize we are our worstest enemies. And stop faking. Getting out here talking about Black Lives Matter. Okay, let Black Lives Matter when a brother blow another brother's head off over some frivolous reason. What, because he looked at him the wrong way? Because he looked at his woman? Or because she looked at her man? Or some petty stuff like that? Or because somebody throwing up some fake gang sign or gang colors, you know, or got murdered just for being in the wrong hood, on the wrong block, which don't none of us own. You see what I'm saying? You know, let Black Lives Matter then. Make it known then that Black Lives Matter. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? While we out here robbing each other, robbing our elderly people, you know, raping our elderly people, raping our women, even raping our own children, molesting our own children, while other family members stand by and deny it and don't do nothing about it, which is also a problem in the so-called black community. You see, let Black Lives Matter then. Make it known that Black Lives Matter. Just as much as you want to make it known that Black Lives Matter when the racists do something to one of our people. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just like these black cops out here killing black brothers and sisters, setting black brothers and sisters up. You know? Some of them was involved in the killings like with Sean Bell. You had brothers involved in that. You know? I think you even had black people involved in the killing of Ayanna Jones, if I'm not mistaken, in Detroit when the police killed Ayanna Jones. You know, it's been several cases where black people have been murdered by the police, and black police was implicated in it. Okay, you know what I'm saying? We got to stop this foolishness. And yes, it may be necessary that we police ourselves because we know we cannot trust a system that was started, far as policing go in this country, which at first was based on being slave catchers. Did y'all just hear that? I'm just saying, you know. So yeah, maybe we need to police ourselves. Maybe it'll turn out to be much better, who knows? And if it don't, well, at least, like somebody say, we tried, you know? But like I said before, you know, we need to stop this crap. We really need to. You know, stop talking about we the victims. No, we're also the self-imposed victims. Since you always want to talk about being victimized by somebody, with all this black on black crime going on in America, you know, let's talk about that. You know, Black Lives Matter too, when it comes to that, right? I'm just saying. And don't sit up here and tell me that, well, when a black do get caught for victimizing another black person, at least they go to jail and do that. Well, yeah, in some cases, yes, they do, okay? But let's keep it real here. A lot of times, they don't. A lot of times, they don't. And it was a known fact that they committed crimes against other black people, but they did not go to jail. Okay? I could tell you something. I'm from Detroit. In Detroit, they have thousands upon thousands upon thousands. And what's not even told even in the local media there, they have upon thousands of unsolved murders. And of course, Detroit is considered the biggest black metropolitan major city area in the country, okay? But they have unsolved murders in the thousands. I'm talking about decades. When I get on the internet sometime and look at the local news back home, I still see folks who still trying to get murders of their family members solved. That happened back in the 80s. That happened back in the 90s. That happened in 2001, 2004. That still ain't been resolved. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So don't sit up here and tell me that every time black people do get caught for killing each other, they go to jail. As opposed to when white people get caught for killing black people. I can't totally agree with that. You know what I'm saying? I just can't. You know. But like I said before, you know, because from my understanding, it was even a time, because I even know where I'm at now. I know people from Mississippi, and this was at a time, from what I hear, especially like in the 60s, that if a black man killed another black man, he didn't go to jail. You know? If a black man killed another black man, he did not go to jail. He did not go to prison at all. It was just another dead end. And they swept it up under the rug, and that's a fact. Until I think the Justice Department got involved, if I'm not mistaken, and got to the bottom of that. But it was a time in the state of Mississippi where one of my grandparents, who's been long dead and gone, was from. May he, as an ancestor, rest in peace. Um, you know, it was a time that if a black killed another black in Mississippi, they didn't even have to worry about going to prison. So, like I said before, hey, the reality of the situation is in the United States when it comes to black on black crime, you know what I'm saying, is that we must wake up and understand and realize that we must look at ourselves even more now, especially in these critical times that we find ourselves in. We need to look at ourselves and understand and realize that we are up against a whole lot of craziness among each other. Well, it's what we got to face as far as dealing with the racists in this country. And that's just the reality of it. Like I said, I know many of you don't want to hear this because y'all so pained right now over these recent killings of black men by police in the streets of America. But hey, I just have to put it out there like that. Somebody got to tell you the truth. And so I'm not going to hold it back. I'm going to let you know the truth for what it is, And hey, with that said, because I got other things I need to do, because I need to get on with the rest of my evening so I could begin another day early tomorrow. But like I said, I just want to leave that with y'all to think on. And with that said, I'm going to be out the 5,000. And as I came in peace, I will leave you in peace.